There's a thin border between Narcissistic Personality Disorder, NPD, and Borderline Personality Disorder, BPD. We are not here to make diagnoses. Instead, we aim to educate people about mental health. To clarify this complex topic, let's explore the alarming similarities between BPD and NPD. 1. Both depend on other people to manage emotional functions. Dr. Marcia Linehan, a well-known psychologist, suggested that individuals with BPD have an emotionally sensitive and intense temperament. They might struggle to regulate their emotions independently, leading them to turn to others for support and comfort. They need someone else to help them steady their emotional ship. As for NPD, psychologists like Dr. Drew Pinsky have pointed out that people with Narcissistic Personality Disorder often have a fragile sense of self-esteem. Deep down, they might feel insecure about themselves, so they continuously seek admiration and praise from others. They depend on others to inflate their self-worth and boost their confidence. 2. Both live in alternative realities in which feelings create facts. People with BPD often experience intense emotions, which can become so overwhelming that they shape how they interpret events and situations. They might feel abandoned or rejected, even when no concrete evidence supports that belief. It's like their feelings are painting a different reality, one that might not align with what others see. On the other hand, those with narcissism tend to have an inflated sense of self-importance and a need for admiration. They might see themselves as the center of the universe, and their feelings of superiority can color their perceptions of everything around them. Their emotions become the lens through which they view reality, leading them to see things distortedly. 3. Both project their feelings of badness onto other people. Imagine feeling terrible about yourself, like you're not good enough or made a mistake. Instead of owning up to those feelings, people with BPD or NPD might unconsciously transfer those negative feelings onto someone else. They're saying, "No, it's not me who's feeling this way. It's you who's causing me to feel this bad." So they shift the blame to the other person, making them the bad guy in the situation. Sigmund Freud, the famous psychoanalyst, had a concept related to this called projection. He believed projecting our feelings, desires, or fears onto others allows the mind to cope with inner conflicts. It's like a coping strategy to avoid dealing with our emotional baggage. 4. Both need plenty of attention. Psychologists have studied these disorders and found that people with BPD often struggle with a deep fear of abandonment. They might have experienced neglect or emotional instability, making them feel highly anxious about being left alone. Seeking attention becomes a way for them to feel validated and reassured that people they know won't abandon them. On the other hand, individuals with NPD tend to have an inflated sense of self-importance. They need constant admiration and attention to uphold their grandiose self-image. Underneath that seemingly strong exterior, there might be feelings of insecurity and vulnerability. Seeking attention is a way for them to reinforce their self-worth and protect themselves from feelings of inadequacy. 5. Both can be critical and judgmental and must always be correct. Both individuals with BPD and NPD may struggle with taking responsibility for their words and actions. Imagine you have a friend who has BPD. This friend might sometimes react strongly to things others don't find a big deal. They might quickly feel abandoned or rejected, leading to intense emotional reactions. It could make it difficult for them to see their role in certain situations and take responsibility for how they reacted. On the other hand, think of another who has NPD. This person tends to have an inflated sense of self-importance and believes they are special or unique. They might think they're always right and expect others to cater to their needs. When things go wrong, they might blame others or external factors to protect their self-image instead of taking responsibility. 6. Both carry grudges and see themselves as victims. BPD and narcissism have something in common. They tend to carry grudges. Some psychologists and psychiatrists have pointed out that people with BPD and narcissism may struggle with regulating their emotions and have difficulty letting go of past hurts. That's why they might end up carrying these grudges like heavy baggage. Another critical aspect of BPD and narcissism is their tendency to see themselves as victims. They may believe they constantly get misunderstood or mistreated, reinforcing their victim mentality. 7. Both are unwilling to listen to what they don't want to hear. Dr. David M. Rice, a psychiatrist, once said, Narcissists typically cannot tolerate hearing anything that challenges their self-image. They may reject or belittle anything that doesn't fit their version of reality. While psychologist Dr. Marsha Linehan, who developed dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, for BPD, also pointed out that individuals with BPD can have difficulty taking in feedback because it threatens their fragile self-esteem and self-identity. 8. Both may become exceedingly jealous over little or nothing. Dr. Marsha Linehan talks about how people with BPD struggle with intense emotions and might perceive rejection where it doesn't exist. This perception could fuel their jealousy. Narcissism expert Dr. Craig Malkin points out that individuals with NPD might become jealous when others threaten their inflated self-image. They might struggle to accept criticism or not be the center of attention, leading to that green-eyed monster creeping in. 9. Both try to control others in their environment to feel safe. Dr. John Gartner once said, "Both borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder involve a fear of abandonment and an attempt to manage that fear by controlling others." People with BPD often struggle with intense emotions, like a roller coaster ride of feelings. They may think, if I can control what others do or how they respond, maybe I can keep my emotions in check. On the other hand, NPD has a different motivation behind their controlling behavior. For them, it's more about boosting their self-esteem and maintaining this marvelous image they have of themselves. They might think, if I can control others and make them admire me or do what I want, it proves how amazing and powerful I am. 10. Both can be emotionally and verbally abusive. Psychologists and experts have noticed that individuals with BPD and NPD can exhibit abusive behaviors to cope with their insecurities and fears. Psychiatrists and psychologists often observe that individuals with BPD and narcissism struggle in forming and maintaining relationships due to their unique emotional and interpersonal challenges. It's not that they don't want meaningful connections. Still, their coping mechanisms and behaviors can create barriers to intimacy and trust. Acknowledging the similarities between BPD and NPD can create a more informed and supportive environment for everyone involved. Let's break the stigma, promote understanding, and work towards building a more empathetic community. Together, we can positively impact the lives of those affected by these disorders. In exploring the fascinating connections between borderline personality disorder, BPD, and narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, it becomes evident that these two disorders share significant similarities. While it's essential to avoid diagnosing individuals, understanding these parallels can offer valuable insights into the complexities of mental health. By fostering awareness and compassion, we can better support those grappling with these conditions and strive to build a more empathetic society that embraces the diverse challenges of mental health. Stay compassionate and informed. If you're new here, subscribe for more narcissism-related videos. Don't forget to comment down what you think below. I will try my best to reply to all comments as much as possible.